Hello there, and welcome to my channel. It's hard to believe that another week has gone by. I gotta tell you, it is so hot here. I've got the fan going and it is not helping. So if I'm looking like super shiny today, it's because I am super shiny because it is so hot. Well, today's video is about being stupid. And I'll never forget when I was 28 years old, someone who was actually very close to me at the time was trying to teach me how to use a computer. Now, back when I was 28, it was in the late 80s, and it was when we had those great big things that sat on the desk with a great big thing underneath, the thing that operates the computer. I have no idea what those things are called, but it doesn't matter because, hey, I'm stupid, right? And this person was trying to teach me how to start the computer. And they said, you just push this button here and it'll start the computer. So with much fear and trepidation, I pushed the button, and I'm so scared because at the time, I really believed that you had to be careful around computers. Like you could actually, I know I'm absolutely a nutter here, that you could actually press a combination of keys and detonate a bomb somewhere or something. I know it's hard to imagine, but that's what I thought. So I was terrified of trying to learn how to use the computer. And then they said, okay, you push the same button and you turn it off. And they said, now you try. And I drew a blank. And this person looked at me and said, is it possible that someone could be so stupid? And I was thinking, yeah, it is possible that someone could be so stupid. I had always believed that I was not smart, that I was stupid. It was something that was deeply ingrained in me. And because of this, I never really tried to do things that might show up just how stupid I was. I never graduated from high school. And so when I decided that I would like to try to improve my education, I went to Mount Royal College. I was around 18 years old at the time. I can't quite remember. But I went to Mount Royal College because I wanted to get a degree in this area that I was interested in. But it required that I would do maths. Now, I dropped out of maths about 2 years before I was done high school, which I didn't even graduate from, because I was so pathetic at math and it scared me, and I wasn't smart enough, and I didn't see at the time that it was even necessary for me to know math. So the sooner they let me drop it, then I was like really quite happy to drop maths. But when I went to get this degree, guess what? Maths was required. And I was taking the subjects that I was interested in, and I was really good at those subjects. But this math thing, it was like hitting a brick wall. I couldn't get it. And I'm sitting in a class with all these other people, and they all seem to understand the maths, but not me. I could not take in numbers. In fact, I can honestly, truly say that I didn't know my times tables. And guess what? I still don't know my times tables. And I was convinced now, I had to drop out of college because I couldn't do the math, so I had to leave it all. And from that point forward, I really truly believed that I would never ever be able to grasp anything that required any kind of level of intelligence. So a few years went by, and I decided I really wanted to get this degree. And so at this point now, I am married to my husband, Peter, and he agreed. He's been so supportive about just about anything that I want to do. He's always been such a good guy in that way. So I decided I would apply to this college, and I got in. And much to my dismay, I discovered that the rules hadn't changed, that if I wanted this particular degree, I needed to do maths. And with much fear and trembling, I said, okay, I'm going to try to do this. So I ended up being in a maths class in the college with all these other students who had not done maths in high school. So that made me feel just a tiny bit better. But these people were a tiny bit smarter. Oh God, they were a whole lot smarter than me. And I sat there and I just felt like the class dunce. I'll never forget the time that the professor asked me, she was doing something on the board, and she asked me, Suzanne, what would you do next? And I can't begin to tell you how terrified I was. I don't even know if I gave her the right answer, but after that, after that class was over, my heart was still thumping. I was just terrified of this subject. And I can tell you that I was so frustrated. I cried so many tears. I actually felt really angry with myself, because if I wasn't so stupid, I would be able to get my head around this stuff, and I would be able to understand it, and I would be able to get what I needed, which was 3 years worth of maths, because I dropped out in year 10. So I had to do year 10, 11, and 12 in order to get this degree. And it was such a horrible time. And I was crying up to God to please help me deal with this incredible fear that I had. And I came to this particular scripture that's in the Bible. It's in 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says, God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And I'm going, okay, well, what is a sound mind? Well, the word that's used there, sound mind, is actually from the original Greek, which is sophronero, which I probably have butchered how that's supposed to be pronounced. But the word itself actually means, a sound mind means a mind that has been salvaged, revived, and is protected, safe, and secure. So I thought to myself, well, my mind has been salvaged. I used to be stupid, but maybe God has salvaged my mind and would help me to be able to grasp this stuff. So I thought, okay, but what about the fear? And I thought, well, God has said that He's not given me a spirit of fear. And that's what it felt like, something that was so overwhelming, and a mountain that was so insurmountable, that it required that I would use every ounce of my being to confront this Goliath, if you will, because I really, really wanted this degree. And you've heard the saying where they say you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Well, I don't even understand why people would say something like that, because who would eat an elephant? I would never eat an elephant, but the concept, one at a time. So that's what I did. Little by little, I had friends at the university who helped me. In fact, I think when they saw me walking down the hallway, they would run the other way because they knew I would grab them and I would say, please help me with my maths because I don't know how to do this. So one bite at a time, I learned fractions, I learned graphs, geometry, trigonometry, statistics, probability, pre-calculus, and calculus. And a year and a half later, I finished my maths. Now, I squeaked by with the maths for the first year. It was horrible. But then something started to happen the last semester of maths, which was the last year of maths. So in a semester, we were covering a ton of material. I started to notice something. I started to notice that I was beginning to understand this stuff. And not only that, I was starting to enjoy this. Never in my life had you had told me, even 2 years prior, even when I started, that I was going to be able to grasp it and even enjoy it. I would have thought you were out of your mind. But that's what happened. I actually started to find maths relaxing. Go figure, because beforehand, some of my textbooks, my math books, I would get so upset. They went for flying lessons, like right across the room. I was so frustrated. But now I'd sit down and I would look at an equation, polynomial, I believe that's how they're pronounced, and I would be able to figure these things out, and I can't tell you the satisfaction that I gained from being able to do this. Now, during this time, I prayed a lot and I prayed hard that God would help me. And I can look back now over that year and a half, and you know, for me, it wasn't about the maths. It was about the mindset that I had, that I truly believed that I was stupid. And I believe that God used this challenge to show me, you are not stupid, Suzanne. I have given you a sound mind. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And I'm going to help you learn. And you know what? I learned how to learn how to do maths. Now, I did extremely well in all my other topics, the subjects. I absolutely loved those 4 years in university. But one thing that I noticed when I was done, what started to happen in me as I started to realize that I actually was quite smart. Now, I'm not saying this in any way, shape, or form to brag, because that's not what this is about. What this is about is a woman who's now older, finding out all those years when I actually thought I was stupid, and I was told I was stupid, and I was told I was stupid on more than one occasion. There were a few times I was told I was stupid, and I believed it. I mean, self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You believe what you're told about yourself, and I believed it. And what this did, especially the maths, I am so thankful that I had to do that. It was hard. I spent hours and hours at math at the expense of doing classes and studying for things that I actually enjoyed, because I had to dedicate that kind of time. But in the process, what the Lord taught me was, if I'm willing to push through, spend the time, be dedicated, stay focused, the big thing was be humble enough to ask for help. And I asked for a lot of help. I went into my prof's office and said, you know, I don't understand this, please help me with this. And I did that a lot of times, walking to their offices, asking for help, asking friends for help, looking things up, doing things over and over and over and over again, to the point where I actually got good at math and have since helped other people with maths, which is mind-blowing. So what am I trying to say by telling you this story? Well, for those of you who have been told that you're stupid, I want to say to you that maybe you can, and you're not stupid. I put my faith in God. I read the scriptures, and I learned that it said in there, Suzanne, fear not, fear not. And I was faced with something that to me was insurmountable. But on the other side of what was insurmountable, I wanted that. And I believed that that was what I was supposed to do with my life at the time. So I had to climb that wall. And I just chipped away at it, and I just kept at it, and I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I ate that proverbial elephant one bite at a time, and I got the job done. And now I can look back and I can say, you know what? God has given me a sound mind. I have a perfectly good mind. And one thing that changed when I realized this is I started to develop such a love for learning. That's what university taught me, to have an inquisitive mind and to love to learn. So I did end up graduating. I got my bachelor's degree, and I actually went on to get my master's degree. And as a result of this, it has been so fulfilling, and it changed my life. So what is the takeaway here? I want to encourage you. What is that thing that you're scared to do? What is that thing that you won't do because you're so scared that you'll be rubbish at it? Well, I'll tell you what, it's better to try to do something and be rubbish at it. As I was with maths, I did this stuff in the first year, the second year, the first semester, the second semester, I was rubbish at it, but I stumbled my way through till I finally got some traction. It's better to try and try and try and be rubbish and rubbish, because eventually you'll stop being rubbish at it and you'll actually gain some traction and actually start getting good at it. And that's what I did. And I'm so thankful that I had the people to help me. I had a husband who encouraged me. I had the scriptures to look at that said, Suzanne, you know what? I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of love and power and a sound mind. And you know what? You can do this. You got this, girl. Anyway, that's it for today. Could I ask you to please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment in the comment section. And is there a topic that you'd like to discuss? I would be super interested to hear about that. But anyway, that's all for now. And all I have to say now is God bless, and I will see you in the next video.